Long ago, in the hazy days of April 2010, the UK government launched the Feed-in Tariff, a generous scheme that paid people a load of cash for generating electricity with solar panels.
It made switching to solar very profitable, and it resulted in a record-breaking number of solar homes, especially in the first 5 years.
But in the slightly less hazy days of March 2019, the Feed-in Tariff kicked the bucket and breathed its last.
In January of 2020, the Smart Export Guarantee began. That was launched by the UK government as well.
But what is the Smart Export Guarantee? How does it work? How much can you earn? Is it even any good? What's going on?
These are just some of the questions we'll be answering in the next few minutes.
I'm Charlie.
I'm Josh.
And we are Sunsave. We have the UK's first solar subscription, which means you can switch to solar with no upfront cost, but more details on that later in the video.
Let's go!
The SEG is a government scheme that compels any energy supplier with at least 150,000 domestic electricity customers to pay households who generate electricity at home and export it to the grid.
And if you go solar, you'll be exporting a lot of electricity to the grid, especially in the summer months.
And it doesn't just apply to households with solar panels, it also applies to households with a wind turbine, hydroelectric power, anaerobic digestion, or something called micro-combined heat and power.
But let's be real, the main focus is solar. In fact, 99.98% of SEG registrations between April 23 and March 24 were for houses with solar panels.
And the number of sign-ups is soaring. There were nearly 284,000 people joining the SEG Club last year, which is 3 times more than the year previous. Cop that.
Like and subscribe! Every energy supplier offering an SEG tariff is known as an SEG licensee.
And every SEG licensee is free to set any rate they would like as long as it is above zero.
This freedom was intended to create a climate in which companies would continually outbid each other for households' electricity, thus resulting in the price going up over time consistently.
And the thinking was sound. It certainly took a little while for the situation to develop, but now there are lots of suppliers offering very competitive and generous rates to households for their electricity.
Your SEG tariff provider does not have to be the same company as your energy supplier, but most companies do offer their best rates to their own customers, and it usually pays to switch suppliers in order to get the best tariffs.
In the 2023-24 period, customers were spoilt for choice because there were 42 different tariffs on offer.
And as you can see in this bar chart, the number of available tariffs has literally doubled since the scheme began in 2020.
And a slightly complicated point, but there are now suppliers who are offering, as well as their obligatory SEG tariff, additional tariffs on top of that, which is why an export tariff offered by a supplier isn't necessarily its SEG tariff. They could be different tariffs. Now, we've just mentioned that energy suppliers tend to give their best tariffs to their own customers, which leads us on to the topic of bundled and unbundled tariffs.
An unbundled tariff is one with absolutely no strings attached. Anyone can sign up for it, and every SEG licensee has to offer at least one of these.
Meanwhile, a bundled tariff normally comes with a few strings attached, but as we've said before, they usually pay the highest rates.
In the 23-24 period, there were 21 unbundled tariffs and 21 bundled tariffs, a nice 50-50 split. Unbundled tariffs paid an average of 4.3p per kilowatt hour, whereas bundled tariffs paid an average of 13.8p per kilowatt hour.
That is a whopping difference. Little wonder then that 79% of sign-ups in that period were for the bundled tariffs.
Yes, 6 of the top 10 most popular SEG rates in 23-24 were bundled rates, and the other 4 came with just one condition, which was to use that same supplier to get your electricity.
And considering that switching energy suppliers is fairly easy and often free, it can be a bit of a no-brainer to switch supplier to make sure you're always on the best tariff.
However, some installers do require you to use them as your solar installer to get that tariff.
And whilst these tariffs can often be pretty high, having to use a specific installer can be quite restrictive. You may not necessarily get the best quality installation or the most affordable.
Okay, finally moving on to the thing people care most about, the cold hard cash.
Yes, solar export tariffs are pretty cool, and it means you get paid for being a mini power station, but is it all worth it if you're not bringing home the bacon,
The brass,
the Benjamins,
the bread and honey.
the money?
You can earn hundreds of pounds from an SEG tariff per year, though obviously the exact amount that you earn will depend on which SEG tariff you pick, how much electricity you generate, and how much of that you export to the grid.
As we've already mentioned, in the 23-24 period, The average unbundled tariff was 4.3p per kilowatt hour, and the average bundled tariff was 13.8p per kilowatt hour. But as you can tell, these are just averages, meaning you could earn a lot more.
Suppliers paid out a whopping £30.7 million during the 23-24 period, which was a 327% increase on the 22-23 period.
We have published a phenomenally detailed guide about the best export tariffs available right now. The detail will stagger you. We've also worked out how much you could expect to save on your energy bills each year with each different tariff, and the link to the article is in the video description.
We've also paired each export tariff with the best available import tariff, which makes a huge difference to your annual savings.
Yes, there are some import tariffs that offer a very cheap overnight rate, which means that in some cases, if you have solar and a battery system, it can be better to charge your battery overnight on the cheap rate, power your home on the battery throughout the day and the evening, and actually just export 100% of the electricity that your panels generate.
If this all sounds a bit bamboozling, do not be bamboozled. At Sunsave, we choose the best import and export tariffs for all our customers to make sure that you get the most out of your solar and battery system.
Let us talk now of solar subscriptions.
Yes.
Sunsave Plus is the UK's first solar subscription, and it is designed to unlock solar for millions of households in the UK.
With Sunsave Plus, you can switch to solar with no upfront cost. All you have to do is pay a fixed monthly fee for 20 years. And it does stay absolutely fixed. No sneaky price rises, so you are fully protected against inflation from energy bills.
You will immediately start saving on your energy bills, and you will also earn income for exporting excess electricity to the grid. And these combined savings could exceed your monthly payment to Sunsave, which means you actually earn money each year despite paying a subscription. This means you don't have to wait years for payback, which is what most people have to do when they buy solar upfront.
Your best-in-class solar and battery system will also be protected by the Sunsave Guarantee, which provides total peace of mind that your system will produce clean, green electricity for the duration of your subscription, without you having to raise a finger.
The Sunsave Guarantee includes free replacement parts, including a battery and inverter, 24/7 monitoring and maintenance, comprehensive insurance provided by Aviva, and downtime cover.
Sunsave Plus is built to be flexible, so you're in charge of your subscription. Therefore, you can make a full or partial early repayment at any point without incurring any fees, charges, or penalties.
You also legally own your system from day one, which means that you will earn 100% of the export income. We don't take a cut.
Sunsave Plus also doesn't require a roof lease or airspace lease, which have historically caused problems with mortgage providers in the past.
To learn more about Sunsave Plus, head to our website, sunsave.energy. There you can read way more about a subscription, watch interviews with people who already have it, and sign up yourself. You've heard a bit about the SEG, you like the sound of it, you particularly like the sound of the payments, but how do you sign up for it? Josh, how do they sign up for it?
Well, firstly, you need to fulfill the eligibility requirements, and there are a few requirements, starting with the fact that you cannot have a system that exceeds 5 megawatts.
And for a residential solar panel system in the UK to exceed 5 megawatts, that would be absolutely bonkers.
You also have to have a smart meter, so that your energy supplier can receive accurate meter readings from you every 30 minutes.
And what if they don't have a smart meter?
That's easy to solve. Every household is entitled to a free smart meter. Just ask your energy supplier.
Anything else?
Yes. To apply for your chosen SEG tariff on the supplier's website, you'll need a range of documents. The first one is a valid MCS or FlexiOrb certificate.
To get this, you must use an installer that has been accredited by MCS or FlexiOrb. It's no good doing your own installation unless you yourself are accredited by these bodies.
There are a few other documents you'll need, and we will display those in the box right here. A good installer like Sunsave will sort these out for you, so don't worry about it.
And Josh, how long does it usually take to sign up for an SEG tariff?
Well, anywhere between 5 and 12 weeks, depending on which supplier you choose.
As the saying goes, nothing is written in stone, and that includes your SEG tariff.
So if for any reason you're no longer happy with your SEG tariff, you can always switch.
Some suppliers will ask you to commit for a fixed period of time to your SEG tariff, usually only around 12 months, but once that period is over, you can cut and run.
So it absolutely makes sense to keep an eye out for the latest SEG rates and switch whenever you deem it necessary.
And our aforementioned gargantuan guide to the best SEG rates will help you do just that. Check out the link in the video description.
And that's a wrap. The Smart Export Guarantee is the slightly wordier successor to the Feed-in Tariff, and choosing the right SEG tariff for your household can land you hundreds of pounds more in export income each year.
If you find the SEG appealing and you fancy making the switch to solar, but you're put off by the high upfront cost, consider Sunsave Plus, which is the UK's first solar subscription, and it means you can switch to solar with no upfront cost. You can learn more about Sunsave Plus and sign up yourself via the link in the video description. And if you're a fan of links in the video description, we've got one more for you, our Solar Advice Hub. This is our library of mega detailed guides to all things solar.
And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more of this from this.
And him. Ciao!